welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what is the date data type in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so to get started in today's episode, I need you to open the same website that we have been coding so far with. I also have Visual Studio Code open. And please don't forget to open as well MDN because we are going to be working with this today. Okay, and what I'm going to do first and foremost is delete all data that we have typed in from our previous episode. Let's go ahead and erase all of that. I'm hitting save and let's hit refresh. Okay, so the console is now empty and ready for our lesson today. So let's go and jump into MDN first. And I want you to type on the search box the word date, okay? Because I think that first you need to know what is the date data type, okay? So let's first read a little bit and then I will explain this in my own words, okay? So in JavaScript, as soon as you type in date, you will click on the first article on MDN. And then we can read here a little bit. It says JavaScript date objects. So that's the first thing that you need to know. It's an object. Represents a single moment in time in a platform independent format. So date objects encapsulate an integral number that represents milliseconds since the midnight at the beginning of January 1st of 1970. So let's go ahead now and talk in human words. And let me explain you exactly what the date data type is. So same as the other complex data types that we have in JS, and let me pull them up just real quick here. Here we have the complex data types. So we have primitive data types, right, which are strings, number, booleans, undefined, big int, which we already saw, and you have also symbol, which we haven't seen yet, but I will get into that in later episodes. And then we have complex data type. Any type of complex data type or any type of data type that is not a primitive data type, we can say that it's an object, okay? We can say that it's an object. So we have objects, we have on complex data types arrays, we have functions, and we have here the date data type. And then we also have this other one right here. So today we're going to be taking a look at the date complex data type, which is also considered an object. Now, the date data type, as I said, is considered an object, and it could be the value of any variable that you create if you want it to be, okay? So same as when we create a variable, we assign to that variable values such as a string, a number, a boolean. We can also give that variable a value, which could be a date data type, okay? So you can go ahead and actually do that in your code, and I will explain you how to do that in just a moment. Now, another thing that I believe that you should know is what exactly you can do with this data type, right? So with the date data type, you can use it to work with dates, and also you can use it to work with times. As simple as that. You can create dates and times with this specific data type. Now, keep in mind that the data type object, it represents a single moment in time, as we read in here, right? A single moment in time, and will allow you to work with dates and times in a variety of formats. So that's what it's cool about it, we could say, okay? So the syntax is very, very simple. Let's go ahead and actually code something here a little bit so that you can go ahead and actually appreciate some examples. I'm going to open Visual Studio Code right now, and let's go back to my document in here. So in Visual Studio Code, let's create first a variable. I'll say let, and let's create a variable called my let's say my current date. Okay, let's create a variable called my current date. Now to this current date, we're going to assign a date data type. Okay, so we're going to say this is going to be equal. Let's say equal, and then here we want to make it equal to date, and then we're going to open parentheses. Okay, so simple as that. This is the syntax for the date data type. Capital D, and then parentheses. So this is the date data type. Okay, right here, my current date will have a value of date data type. So this is the syntax right here. You just put the word date and then you open parentheses. Simple as that. That's the simple syntax for date. Now, if I want to console.log this here, I can do console.log, and then in parentheses, I can select my current date, okay? And I'm going to hit save, going back to my code, see what's going to happen now that we have used the date data type. If I hit refresh, boom, the console will give me today's date. It says today is Tuesday, April 4th of 2023. It's 9:56 p.m. GMT Central Standard Time. As you can see, we have now created a date value, a date data type. Now, another thing that you can do with this date is pass some values into this parentheses, some data into this parentheses to make it do something else. So for that, let's go ahead and let's create another variable. Let's call this variable, my date. Let's just call it my date. And then we're going to equal this to the keyword new date. And I will explain why I'm using the keyword new in just a moment. And then we're going to open parentheses. And I'm also going to open quotes inside of those parentheses. Now, something very important that I want you to see is that when you're passing values, especially if you want to be specific about a date, the first format that you will follow is that it goes with the year. Let's say that I want to display 2025. Then you're going to use a hyphen or a dash, right? And then you're going to use the month. Let's say 02, and then again another dash, and then at the end it's going to be the day. So let's say that's going to be February 13, right? So I want to display February 13 of 2025, okay, this time. So you might be wondering exactly why am I using the keyword new. Just so you know, the new keyword is used to create instances of objects from constructor functions. Now, I know that those terms are really complex for you right now because we really haven't had a lecture yet in terms of constructors and instances of objects. So just don't worry about that right now. Just know that with the new keyword, you are creating a new date, right? And you have to create a new date, which is not today's date. And it's actually going to be the date that you assign in the parentheses. Just make sure to follow this syntax if you want to use the same format and the same syntax I'm using right now. Okay, date, then parentheses inside quotes, and then you put year, then the month, and then the date. And just remember, 4 digits dash 2 digits dash 2 digits again. Okay, so now let's go ahead and console.log that. Let's use console.log, and this time I want to console.log my date. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And boom, as you can see, now it's not giving us today's date. Now we have a different date. And this date is Wednesday, February 12th of 2025. And it just gives us as default 6 p.m., obviously GMT Central Standard Time. Now, if we go ahead and we open the calendar, let's just open the calendar here. And now I am just going to scroll down and we're going to search 2025 and we're going to search for the date 12. Okay, so 12 is indeed a Wednesday, as you can see. So this is very accurate, as you can see. With the date data type, you're going to be getting a really specific format in terms of date and time. So I hope that all this information is really useful for you so that you are 100% clear in what is the date data type and what you can do with it. The syntax is very simple. Now, one thing that I want you to do, and I'll leave this as a homework, is to go to MDN and read the date article, okay? Because if you scroll a little bit here down, you will see that the date has some constructors, which haven't gone through yet, but I promise in the next episodes that we will have in this course. You will see some static methods that this object data type has, instance properties. You can see instance methods. So, I mean, it has a lot of properties and a lot of methods that are built in already with JavaScript. that you will be able to use with the date data type. So I encourage you 100% to get into this article, read a little bit, and in fact, read more and more and know more than me, okay? Because that's the goal. The goal is for you to learn and for you to apply everything that you are learning here and become great at it, right? For whatever purpose that you're learning programming, the best thing to do is to study your theory and then start practicing by building easy codes. You can be console.logging dates if you want, and just try simple stuff. You know, it doesn't have to be that complex. But as long as you're practicing, as long as you're reading and you're applying what you are learning, you are going to be just fine. Okay, so that was it for today's episode, everybody. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you have learned a lot. Remember, if you liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone, and see you again in the next episode.